Man, I'm trying to get on here a little early to give it some time for people to come on board. See if anyone's gonna pop up here. I would say this is my third time going live, and I like it. I really like it. I can cover more in a time. I haven't ate on a live before. Trying to give it some time. Showed up a little early, right? But I'm going to dig in today. Hopefully, we got some questions. If not, then I definitely have some questions that I would like to go through and share. And hopefully, that sparks some other questions from different individuals. And we'll see how that goes. But I am going to get some work done today as well. Definitely going to get some work done today. But hey, my day started off pretty good. I had soccer. My twins went into soccer. Their first soccer game today. They won, by the way, and that was good. So the morning started off pretty good, and then came to the office, to get in some work because I've been tied down with this one set of plans that's just. Let me see if I turn on the light here. It's gonna be better. Maybe that's a little bit better there. But excuse my eating. But so I've been working on this set of plans, man. That's just, I don't even think it's a big job, but there's so many different. Uh, it's an add alternate on it, right? There's pieces all over the place to where you gotta, there's three different buildings. There's piecework in each different building, and there's different type of piecework. There's curves you need to put for a bathroom, curves you need to put for walls. There's different slide pieces that you have to, um, um, where electrical and different utilities are going through. You got to patch back, so it's just all over the place. And then the way the architect designed the plans, it makes you dig to get the information about those repairs. So definitely a challenge. Or I would say more definitely exhausting. Uh, do I do very rarely, you know. Just took some B12. Anyway, I used to do a lot of general contracting before. And then I do have a partnership that does general contracting. My main trade that I do is structural concrete. So you'll see me doing a lot of foundations, slabs, and things like that. I'll do new and I'll do remodel or TI work on the concrete side. I do have a partnership to where we do more general construction, like the drywall, framing, and things like that. I'm not per se really good at that. My main trade is the structural concrete side, but I do have a partnership to where we do focus on that type of work. And the type of work that we mainly do right now is a lot of restoration work, um, to where we're going in, working behind restoration companies, and basically putting the house back together. So you did a vast array of different trades. And then we went through doing apartments. Oh, matter of fact, if I got general contractors on here, that's kind of all around, let me know. I have some opportunities that's coming up to where, let's say you do framing, drywall, baseboards, flooring, kind of, installing cabinets, vanities, with the plumbing with that, underneath those vanities, garbage disposals, things like that. Same type of work I'm talking about that we do. May have some opportunities for you. So make sure you um, send me an email. Send me an email. My email is all over the place. It's connect@constructionentrepreneurs.com. Connect@constructionentrepreneurs.com, or tjones@constructionentrepreneurs.com. And I'll go ahead and give you a call, let you know what we have to see if you're a good fit for it. And the work will most likely be in Los Angeles, California, because I got people all over that connects here. So most likely Los Angeles, California. So if you do kind of versatile with that work, framing, drywall, flooring, and that sort of thing, cabinets, hit me up. Make sure you reach out to me so I can plug you in. Okay. Now, got to sneeze. Whew. Okay. So I think it's damn near time now. Um, so one of the things that I jumped on here to try to answer some questions. We got a lot of people out there that always get hit up about estimating. One of the main questions I do get asked is, what do I do once I get my license? What's next for me? Where do I go? What's the next step? That sort of thing is I actually have a program set up for that. It's a mentoring program that lasts about 30 days. It goes anywhere. I believe it's $950 right now per month, and then basically there's a list of things that you can actually do just starting out. Getting your business license, right? Oh, also too in California, every city you work in, you're actually supposed to get a business license, right? And once you get to be more legit and getting into these different areas, then you'll be able to do that, because the whoever you're working for will require you to have a business license for that particular city. But getting your business license, setting up for workers' comp, right? How to set up for workers' comp. What do you give them to get your first workers' comp policy, right? What numbers do you get them to get your commercial auto insurance, right? It's different from your personal auto insurance. To get bonding. Where do you get bonding from? And I'm not talking about the bonding that you get when you get your license. I'm talking about project bonding, right? Getting bonding, designing a proposal slash contract. There's matter of fact, I reached out to some rebar guys, say, hey, send me a bid for this project. I need rebar on it. And during the course of me sending it to them, I sent them another job 2 days later while they were working on that job, right? And then they sent me the proposal, and I sent them another job. So I'm sending them a total of 3 jobs that I'm bidding on that I need rates from them on, right? I'm trying to get some different pricing. Well, the first proposal that they sent over, I could tell that they were not used to estimating within the they wasn't used to, hold on, I'll get to that right now. They wasn't used to um uh, turn in proposals for commercial work. You could tell they use a residential format. So I was like, oh man, I could tell you don't have a lot of experience in this. And then I didn't say anything. I just received other proposals and they were different. Like the format on them were different. I was like, what is this? Are you trying out different? So, that is key to have a standard proposal for yourself and not switching from different apps and different formats and using different things. Design a format, and that's what we're going to talk about in this proposal writing classes, is learning how to design and keep one design that you're going to use, and always have that to where it's blank and you can input those things in there. And that's what I do on all my proposals, no matter what company I'm sending a proposal for. Okay. So the 2 day, I think someone just asked me about, let's see here if I can look at that here. Okay, so I'm trying to get my 2 day exam. What is I think, I don't know what's the 2 day exam. We may be in different areas. So I deal with a lot of contracting in California. So I don't know about the 2 day exam. Here in California, when you go and take your exam, you're given a day. You get 3 hours per exam, so it'd be a 6 hour exam for you. It'd be a full shift, and you take both law and business during that day, and whichever one you don't pass, you just do a reschedule for. You retake the exam. Now this California process. Most likely, like I think California is the most strict. They have oh, you're in okay. What's up, Memphis? What's going on? The contractor license thing I cover for only California, but contracting is almost the same throughout the states. Okay, contracting, I doing contract work, estimating is the same. Doesn't matter where you're at. Um, Dealing with numbers, understanding insurance for contractors. It's pretty much the same throughout. They may be different guidelines that's slightly a little bit different. One, somewhere else you might do a 1 million, 1 million. Might be common to do a 2 million, 2 million. But whatever that standard is, it won't be much different than what the industry standard is. So and then not everyone uses that standard. Like I have a general contractor that I do work for. They require higher general liability for their particular jobs than what is standard. Okay, so that happens sometimes. Hey, let me talk. If you got questions, just post the questions in there. I'm here to answer questions. I'm gonna bring up a few questions here. I want to talk about this proposal writing class that we're going to be doing. We got on I believe, the 7th and the 8th of week after next, because it's still within this week, right? Sunday is next week. That falls on July 7th and 8th, and we'll be doing classes, and we'll be doing proposal writing, and we'll be covering quite a bit here. And I'm excited about this one because it's something that everyone needs. And then I'm also, I don't know if you guys see my video. I'm also brainstorming on the next class, which is I want to do a how to select projects, right? So that's a huge thing. Okay, so with this proposal writing class, we look like we're going to be going over, covering your local licensing authority guidelines, processes, materials, how to include spec numbers, payment schedules, right? That is very important. I struggled a little bit on payment schedules, allowances. Some of us don't even deal with allowances, but there's a lot of you out there that should have allowances in your proposal because certain items will fall under that category, and we'll talk about allowances as well. Nah, no, no, you're not. You're not. But I tell you this: um, 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 being 36 and getting into masonry, or starting out into masonry, masonry is a very labor intense job when starting out. Years later, you get your experience and you kind of get out of the hard work type of thing. But in the beginning, remember, as long as you're fit and you keep yourself, your health well maintained, you can, you get with the right company, you can advance very well. But it's never too late to get into construction. Never. There's so many different areas too. Especially if you go and take some type of schooling and get into it. Maybe you can get into project manager instead of just the field. You can get into all areas of construction no matter what age you are. I say that. So we're gonna on this class, this proposal writing class. We're going to cover over covering unforeseeable conditions. That's a big thing that we deal with in residential. To me, I always joke. I try to stay away from residential. Really, I deal with a lot of public works, but I will bid on residential work. My partner deals with nothing but residential. But in residential market, it's almost like extras are hard to come by. Like if there's extra work, it's almost hard to come by and explain, hey, you need to pay me for this stuff that I did not know was there because I can't see through a wall, right? We're gonna also talk about project schedules and change orders. We'll also cover warranty because there's certain items that you give warranty to that you may not even be aware of. And a lot of us gets in trouble with that. Like years ago when I was in residential, and if I finished the job, someone called me and say, "Hey man, you need to come over here and replace this." I'll be telling them, "I'm done. I've been paid in full. Why do I?" But a lot of items that you install come with a warranty, and that warranty gets passed down to the customer, and you have to understand that. Okay, and they need to be aware of what items cover warranty and what items cover which type of warranties. There's limited warranties. Okay, there's warranties that only cover parts, and then there's wear and tear that kind of voids your warranty. So all that plays a part, and depending on what industry you're in or what sector of work you're in, you need to include those warranties within your proposals. Logistics, we're going to cover logistics in that. We're going to cover damages, variations in materials, and then how to deal with issues. Okay. And then you can, and how you deal with issues is what you put in your proposal/contract. Now, mind you, with this proposal writing class, your proposals, once it's accepted, all you should be doing is changing the name of that proposal and writing the contract there for homeowners. Okay, you should be changing your proposal and just writing the contract. Should be similar to the same type of format that you submit as a proposal. Should be your contract. Take my journal 23, and I want to take my journal contractor license. I'm from a construction working family. It's something I really love to pursue. Now listen. Okay, you got someone that said they're 23, they want to get their contractor's license. Listen, so with getting your contractor's license, one of the things you have to realize is that the board look at your age. So being 20, so the youngest you can be is, well, you have to be 18 years or older to get your license. Okay. Oh, wow. 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 Okay, so just I would say just get in, just start where you're at. When I first got in this industry, I got some of you guys know my story. Not sure if you guys do, but I got in the industry from having a criminal background. I went to jail from. I went the first time I went to jail. I was 14. Right, I went to jail at 14 for 3 months. I was a terrible kid, gang banging. I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana. We came from New Orleans, Louisiana. Came to move to South Central Los Angeles. I started gang banging. Got locked up at 14. Did 3 months in juvenile hall. I think it was like Central Juvenile Hall. Went to East Lake, Los Padrinos, those ones. And then a year later, from the 14 years, 14-year-old arrest, a year later, I got locked up at 15. Went in from 15 to 21. And during that stretch there, I caught another case while I was in there as well. So as I caught another case while I was doing time, and then I got out, and then I tried to get a job. First job I got was in computer recycling industry. And this is before CRTs became hazardous waste, those big TV monitors. And I was in that. And then I got that job. And then I jumped in the construction industry. And I jumped in the construction industry because it was more forgiving, you know. And when I jumped in there, so here it is. I got in 2001, so I was 21 when I got in. Um, and when I got in, I worked. I remember I worked with a company, a concrete company, and I just jumped in, and I got paid little money. It was years ago. I'm 40 now, and I got paid really good money. It was a very hard industry. I didn't know much about it, but I know it was accepting to my background, my criminal background. I didn't feel like it was a lot more opportunity out there for me. So when I jumped into it, I didn't take to it right away. I was still running the street, still being a knucklehead, not really listening. And only when we started doing stamped concrete, okay, that's when I fell in love with it. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with it. And it's crazy. I did a story on YouTube where I live past the area that I used to drive by doing concrete work. And I told myself I was going to buy a house in this area. And, 18 years later, 15 years later, I did. And it was just crazy that this stuff comes true as long as you continue to work at it, you know. And I drive past the areas where I cut my teeth on doing slabs as a worker, as a laborer. So just get into the industry. Stop worrying about where do I get in at, what do I would say focus on a company that is more of a rather small company that you can get into and do a little bit of everything, or a medium-sized company that you can get into and do a little bit of everything. Like the company I was with, I was able to learn how to operate a backhoe and dig out footings. I was able to lay out houses with one of the top guys that knew how to lay out houses. So I learned how to lay out houses. I learned how to read the blueprints. And mind you, I forced it. You know, I told him like, "Hey, I'm available anytime." And that's what I did. And I looked at it as if they were paying me to go to school during that time. So I wasn't really concerned with the pay, even though I wanted some decent pay. But I always looked at it like, you guys are paying me to learn. You guys are paying me to go to school because I know nothing. And that's how I came up in the industry. And as you know, in the concrete industry, you clean tools. You know, I cleaned tools and I caught edges. And that's what I did. And I cleaned boats with burlap straps, right? Some people tell me they put foil over the anchor bolts. Well, we clean it with the burlap bag that the boats came in. That's how we clean boats. So I clean boats and clean the finisher tools in the beginning. So, but nowadays, I'm here to say that there's so much more to the construction industry than just jumping in and doing hard labor work. We need people of project managers. We need project engineers. We need estimators. You know. Now, I'm glad I touched on estimating. Estimating is a huge part of construction, and I talk about estimating in my CES estimating class. and with the CES estimating program. For all you ones out there that have trouble estimating, check out the CES estimating system. It is made for us as long as you understand your trade. Okay, I'm not training a bus driver how to estimate. If you understand your trade, and understand your trade means that you understand the order of construction. Okay, you understand the order of construction for your trade. What does that mean? The order of construction. That means that when you go to a job site, you know what you have to demo. You know if you have to demo. You know you gotta. What's next? Do you have to hang a wall? You have to shore the ceiling, right? You have to saw cut. You have to do dust control. You have to do demo. You have to install a wall. You have to install a window. You know the order of construction for your trade. I can teach you how to estimate with the CES estimating system. Very simple, very easy to do. Okay, and that is a skill. No matter where you go, it'll always stay with you, and you'll always be able to keep a job or build a company. Doesn't matter. All right, so I'm not okay. Here we go. Here we go. Um, yeah, well, it all depends. So one thing you got to understand is this: if you, the board right now, the CSLB board right now is recognizing. Let's say if you say, "Hey, I want to get my contractor's license," they are looking at the company that you're actually identifying where you got your 4 years experience. So as you know, getting your contractor's license, you must have a minimum of 4 years experience within the 10-year period, right? So when they ask for those 4 years experience, if you show the 4 years with a roofing company, then most likely the board is going to gear you toward only a roofing license. Okay, so you want to be careful with that. That's what I'm noticing right now is the board is gearing you for the classification that whatever the construction company that you're listing has. There's a T and I'm young adult years. So, okay, so listen, I want to make sure I cover this, okay, with the roofing. Then I'm gonna get to the next question. Okay, so you got to understand that you're going to be, the board is going to, they've been judging individuals based on the company that they're claiming their 4 years with under what classification that company handles. So if you don't want to be a roofer and get your roofing license, then you might want to make sure that the company that you're getting with holds the classification that you're seeking to get. That roofing license company may hold a B license. Okay. So you want to check that out. Okay. They may have a B license, but if they have a specialty roofing license, that's what the board is going to try to gear you toward getting. Okay. Now, listen, as far as my course, the courses that we have, that I have, I don't train you how to do construction. Okay. I only train you on how to estimate, how to understand your overhead percentage, how to understand how to do QuickBooks, how to install QuickBooks, how to start doing payroll, how to get your insurance. So those are the courses that I train on. I'm training you. You're welcome. I'm training you within to get better at what you're already doing. I have no courses to train you how to do construction per se, but how to get better within your construction company. I'm only training you on things that I actually, that things I'm actually good at, And then the next thing is that we offer the contractor license courses where you can go through our course and get your contractor's license. Okay. And with that course, we prepare you for the state exam. That's the next course that we offer. The other type of materials that we offer on our website is teaching you the same type of stuff. You just learn it on your own. Getting admin forms. Check out the admin forms on the website. Man, That's what it's about. That's who get their license. Is the people that are carpenters, the people that are handyman. That's where we start at. We start at tradesmen's and tradeswomen's, and then we were like, oh man, I'm good at this. Let me get my license. That's how I went about it. I started doing work and say, hey, I'm good at this. Let me get my license. So that's great. That's what you want to do, you know. But it's not made for everyone. Let's get that clear. Okay. So if you are a carpenter, if you are a mason, if you are a drywall person, you want to get your license, it is the way to go, right? But this is what I notice about us tradesmen going to go get our license. One of the things that stump us so much is the admin part. We've worked so much in the field to where we have no admin skills. Computers. We don't know how to operate computers because all we did was work in the field. We don't understand Excel, Word docs. So we have trouble writing proposals. We have trouble doing estimates. We have trouble. You may understand how to read the plans, but can you interpret this to a sheet of paper? You know, do you understand about payroll? And that's where I come in at, is I give you that information you need that's cooped with the information that you already gained from the field, so you can go ahead and go and take that journey up. And then you don't have to try to figure this thing out, right? I tried to figure this thing out, and constantly I fell on my face, you know, got in trouble. But trying to, you know, that's the biggest thing, is learning admin, learning how to do paperwork, learning how to email etiquette, right? How do you respond to someone on an email? What information do you need to be asking them? You know, how to look for jobs. Where are all those jobs that my boss was getting to keep me busy? Where's all those jobs at? And then I take away the fear. That's what I help with the individuals that go through my course. I help take away the fear so you have confidence to go to the next. What's up, Kaya? I take away the fear to help you have confidence to go to the next level. Because that's the biggest thing, is that the reason why we don't go out and get more jobs, bigger jobs, complicated jobs, larger jobs, is because of the fear, because of the confidence, because we feel that we're going to be missing something, because we feel we're going to lose money, because we feel we won't be able to manage it, because we feel we don't understand the next process with it. We feel we don't even know how to write a proposal to go after that job. And I cut down those barriers. I show you during my course, my mentor course, I show you that, hey, this is how you do this. This is the form you use. Look at this. This is how I wrote the last one here. I show you it. Okay, I'm not in that no more, but hey, when I was, this is what I did here to get through this and to get this done and to get this job. Okay, where do you find these jobs at? This is where you find them at. You find them here. Let's go through it. Let's look through it. And take you through all these steps. Okay, instead of you trying to figure it out, us trying to figure it out, it takes us so long to try to figure things out. And then how long until we figure out we're doing them wrong? We're like, oh man, we did that wrong. That was the wrong thing to do, right? Then you're like, okay, what am I doing next? You know? Oh, excuse me. All right. Let me I'll pick one question. I said I was gonna be here for like 30 minutes. I'm gonna start wrapping this thing up a little bit. So if you got another question, go ahead and shoot it out. I'll make sure I answer it. But I'm gonna find a question here that I can also answer. So one of the questions I got here was, someone asked me, how do I know what to charge? Right? So you got your license and you're like, what do I charge? I wouldn't say it's so much what you charge, because I think we already understand what we should be paying for labor, right? You already know what you should already know what your industry is going for as far as paying someone hourly or paying someone by the day. You should already understand that, okay? Okay. The next thing you need to add to that, where the confusion comes in at, is those percentages that go on top of those numbers, like your labor burden, right? Your labor burden. What do I add for labor burden? What do I add for overhead? Right? What do I charge for profit? Those things are the key things that you're really missing in your estimate. You should already be charging for everything that you see on the job that you do. You should be charging on the estimate. So you see guys there, you should be charging guys on your job. You see materials, you should be charging materials. You see, it's fuel to run those trucks and those that equipment. Then you should be charging for fuel, right? You should be charging for taxes. Find out what the local tax is for your area and add that tax to the material. Add that tax to the fuel. That tax gets charged to everything that you use, right? Figure out your overhead percentage. I got an overhead sheet on my website that you can buy for $4.99 that teach you how to figure out your overhead percentage, and you get the form as well. Go get that. It's $4.99. Okay. If you have trouble writing up a proposal or a contract, go to the admin forms on my website. Okay. That's $29.99. Go get the admin forms, and I got example contracts in there. So once you have those numbers figured out to where you have your overhead, your labor burden, and your profit percentage, you combine that up, write that up, and then now you're ready to send it off. Everything else you should have and understand already. How long is it going to take you to do the job? How many pieces of equipment you need? Do you own it? Well, if you don't, you should be renting it. How much is the rental rates? How many days is going to take you versus how many guys is going to take you? How much fuel are you going to use, right? All that stuff. And then with a lot of stuff, what we're missing is, like I said, the overhead percentage, the profit percentage. The industry profit percentage is 10%. Okay, that's the industry standard profit percentage. But we don't live by the standard. Okay, because if you go by 10%, if you stick with 10%, you probably would never make no money. Okay, 10% will most likely play a large factor for companies that are doing $30 million a year. Okay, companies that are doing 20 to $50 million a year, they will stay at a 10% profit probably for each job. But us on a smaller scale, I would say base your profit percentage and your overhead percentage, if you can, on a dollar amount. You still are using the percentage factor to get to that dollar amount. But like this, you should be having, as a small contractor, medium-sized contractor, you should be having a dollar amount. You should say, hey, I want to make $350 a day in profit. My overhead can be a percentage. If you don't want to do a dollar amount, that's fine. But you say, hey, for my profit, I want to make $350 a day. Or, hey, for my profit, I want to make $200 a day. Or, hey, for my profit, I want to make $150 a day. Okay. When I was starting out and I finally got the click thing to where it's like, okay, so profit are not wages and wages is not profit. So I need to pay myself a wage and my company needs to make money. When I finally got that, I was trying to make $200 a day for my company years ago. I was trying to make $200 a day. So every job I didn't base it on a percentage for profit. I based it on a dollar amount for profit. And then that profit was determined based on the risk factor. Okay. What is the risk factor? The risk factor is this. So if you come and do concrete in front of my office, right, that's not risky versus doing concrete in front of the Statue of Liberty. That's risky, right? So you doing the same, let's say you got the same type of slab in front of the Statue of Liberty that you need to do, and then versus in front of my office, you should be charging 4 times as much more because of the risk factor at the Statue of Liberty than in front of my office. So you need to figure out what the risk factor is for you on a high side and a low side. That low side is the minimum that you need to get per day. So if it's $200 a day, that's what you're getting. If the risk factor starts to tick up, where you're like, okay, I'm working in front of a federal building, and now they require me to make sure that I do this and do that, and I got to put tape on the walls and plastic here, and then I got to have a traffic guy here, and then sounds like it's going to be a more risk than anything. I gotta do this type of mixed design and this color and then they want me to dig deeper. Sounds like, you gotta put a little bit more effort into that. The risk may be a little bit more higher. So you want to tick and say, hey, you know what? On this job, I'm not going for 200. I'm gonna go for 400 a day. And you gotta make sure that you're gonna get the job if you do that, right? That's the next determining factor. But you should have a dollar amount on what you're trying to do. What if that dollar amount equals 10%, or what if it equals, 15%? Now, once you got the minimum dollar amount, then you start to mess with your percentages. Okay. Now, with your percentages, you want to make sure that you don't go over a certain amount on your percentages. Okay, based on that dollar amount. So once you have that dollar amount and you do your estimate, it should show you that dollar amount. That's where the estimating system come into place. It'll show you that dollar amount. And you're like, okay, I need to tick this up 5% more to get to my minimum dollar amount. And then you have a maximum percentage that you would not go over. Like right now, on any job, I would not go over 25%. Whether if I reach my minimum or not, I just wouldn't go over 25%. Because for me, my jobs right now does not allow me to go over 25% on a particular job. Now, when the market changes, just believe I'll probably start at about 25% on my profit and overhead. Okay. But right now it's a tough market. So you got to be mindful of that. You got to see how, what jobs you're winning, what jobs you're losing, and then get the feedback on those jobs so you can see where you need to be at. That's the biggest thing of this market here. So when I do an estimate and I turn my estimate in, right? I turn my proposal in and I don't get the job, I reach out to everyone that I turn that bid into. And I ask them, hey, how did I fare up against the other contractors, the other concrete contractors? What was the price difference, right? And usually what I'll do is I'll blind CC everyone. I would not just send a separate email there. I'll just blind CC them all, everyone, all 20 of them, 15 of them, whoever it is. And I'll ask them, hey, please share the information of the bid results dealing with my trade. I want to know where I fared up at. And it's a common practice for contractors to want to give you that because they want that in return. Everyone is looking to see where they fared up at. That way you can make adjustments if needed. Okay. Once you get that feedback and they say, hey, you lost by 5%. Hey, you lost by 20,000. Hey, then you go back to your estimate. Now, this is not a determining factor based on one job. You need to gather a vast amount of jobs, okay, to start to decide which direction you want to go. But you'll take that number and then you go back to your estimate, and then what you'll do is you won't touch your profit and overhead. You just touch your production. See what it takes to lower down your production to get to their number. Okay, and then you ask yourself, can I shave off whatever that production is? Or you go back to your profit and overhead and look at that. I would definitely be careful depending on if you're going higher on your profit and overhead, then yeah, look at it. But if you're at your minimum, that's it. You're at your minimum. You got to realize that, and you got to stay at that. Profit is the blood of our business. You cannot go around screwing up what you make on the job to try to get a job. Not landing a job because you were overpriced on that job is better than landing a job because you're underpriced. Get me on that. It's better to lose a job because you're overpriced than to get a job because you're underpriced. You start paying for doing that job. You don't want to do that. So and it took me a long time to realize I need to stay put at my profit and my overhead. Like whatever my minimum is, I need to not go below that. And it took a long time for me to get that in my head. I just kept saying, "Oh, let me just do. I can lower it. I can, yeah, bring it down, man. Yeah, who cares?" When you start having massive payroll, right? Especially in this public works, and things have to run around here. You print out a bunch of paper. You got ink. You got monitors. You got you got to keep the office cool, and you got payroll of office people. You got different services that support your businesses, that monitor different things in your business, right? You got a lawyer on deck. Everyone should have a lawyer on deck. Everyone should have a lawyer in this industry, okay? You should have someone that you can call that can send you a bill if you ask them one question. They'll send you a $350 bill. That's fine. But that's why you need to make sure you don't lower your profit and overhead. You need to keep it at that so you can utilize those resources as you need them and not be skippy like, oh, nah, I'm not going to call that lawyer. I need to talk to him, but he's going to charge me $350. Oh, call that dude because he's gonna save me $1,200 if I don't call him and charge me the $350. And I get off the phone. Make sure you send me a bill. Make sure you send me a bill. Okay. Anyway, so that's a little jokely joke I'm having here. Anyway, but that's it. Okay. So how do I know what to charge? And that goes back to you already know. You just need to figure out what the profit and overhead, what your overhead is, what your profit is, and what your labor burden is. Now, a lot of people say, "Hey, I don't have no overhead." Everyone has overhead. I don't care if you're working out of your truck. Your truck is your overhead. That's your office. Okay, you need to charge for that truck because if you wasn't in that truck, you'd be somewhere paying for something. If you wasn't in that house, you'd be somewhere paying for it. Okay, so everyone has an overhead, and a lot of times your overhead looks different in the beginning. Then as you grow, right? Your cell phone, right now, if you got a business, your cell phone is part of your overhead. So you need to figure out what that overhead percentage is. Go get that the overhead form sheet on our website. It's $4.99 for that. Go get that. Okay. Understanding your construction company overhead. It's a video series. It's for $4.99. Go get it. Okay. The admin forms. Go get the admin forms talking about residential contracts. Go get that too. Okay. Go get those things, man. They're very important. Also, too, I got one on estimating made simple, building your labor rates. You learn how to build your labor rates, understanding your labor burden. I talk about this already. All you do is have to go ahead and spend the $29 for this course here, this video series, and you got it. That's what people are asking. How do I know what to charge? Well, you got to go and invest in yourself. If you don't want to go ahead and spend, let's see what's the total cost is. It's $29 for the building labor rates. Everyone needs to build their labor rates. Okay. Understanding your labor burden and using profit margins. Everyone needs to understand that. Then we got the understanding your construction company overhead series. Everyone has overhead. You need to understand your company's overhead. And then the admin forms. That's $24.99. That's a total of $60. $58.98 plus tax. That says $60, $65. You invest in $65 into your business to get what you need. How does that not make sense? And then you're out here trying to ask people that don't run a business, you're asking them about business. Listen, I'm telling you, understand that you have to invest in yourself to get to where you want to go. You just have to. And you're going to pay me, or you're going to pay someone else, or you're just going to pay the trials and tribulations, right? You pay trials and tribulations, it just takes you longer to get to where you need to go. And as most of us, we don't make it over the trials and tribulation hurdles. We fall. We go out of business. Our spouse tells us we need to figure it out and get a job. So why go through that? Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Let me see if I got another question on here. Um, okay, so let me see here. I got one here. Says, now that I have my license, my customers don't accept my price anymore. Says, now, this is a question I have. It says, now that I have my license, my customers don't accept my price anymore. Yeah, that's what happens there, because you're adding everything now, and hopefully you are. And hopefully you're just not throwing numbers out there. But yeah, that's one of the things we got to understand is that when we was a baby, we did baby things. Now we are moving to a teen and adult. We need to do those things of that era, that space. So doing unlicensed activity, you got to realize that in that space, you're if you want to stay there, then you need to stay there and stay within that bar. If you want to move it up, you got to remember you have to put in a little bit more work to get to that next level. So what does that next level look like? It all depends on what sector of work you're in. So if your customers are not accepting your new price point, then you need to get new customers. I think I talked about that. I just did a video on that. You need to get new customers. Where are your new customers at? Maybe it's all it's no more word of mouth. Maybe it's finding jobs to estimate on. Maybe it's calling on contractors, right? And asking them that they already have the job. You calling on local general contractors in your area. That's the thing. A lot of us are scared to put in the work. I used to go and visit job sites. I go stop at a job site and I ask them, hey guys, I do concrete or I do drywall, whatever I was doing at that time, and say, hey, do you need a drywall guy? No, we already have one. We're actually almost done with this project. Oh man, it looks beautiful here, man. Is there anyone that I need to contact to get put on your subcontractors list so I can bid on the next nice project that you guys have that's like this? Yeah. I give you a contact. Hey, I also want to give you my card because if someone doesn't show up for you or doesn't come through for you, you can always call me. Oh yeah, thank you for that. What would I don't know. Maybe I keep it, maybe not. I got probably a dozen calls over the years from people calling me saying, "Hey, I need you to move in tomorrow." And sometimes I was able to meet it, sometimes I wasn't able to meet it. But it didn't turn out super big for me. But I don't know what worked behind the scenes, how all that worked out. But I know it played a part into helping me get to where I'm at now. So go visit those job sites. Go, even if they already got someone of your trade. You're trying to land for the next one, especially if that's the type of project that you want to do. Visit them, call them. Hey, let me get put on your bid list. And that's what you do. And you send them an email. Put me on your bid list. And that's simple as that. Hey, my construction entrepreneurs, I'm gonna get off here. I'm glad everybody showed up. Looks like I had quite a bit of people coming in and out here. I think this is my third live. I like doing the lives. I'm gonna get some more questions here that I'll start doing, and we'll see. But hey, make sure you leave and go sign up. Also, too, make sure you go support and buy some of those forms that you need them. Only if you need them. Okay. And then make sure you sign up for the free contractor proposal writing class. It's free. Sign up for it and show up. You got to show up, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, my construction entrepreneurs, hustle hard, then hustle harder. Catch you on the next one.